All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dayve Gabbard, and I'm joined by my partner in crime, Wemyss, for our April 2024 webinar with Debbie's top tips. We're excited to share all the new and exciting things. We'll say new and exciting things that LinkedIn is changing and updates that we think are the most critical to share with you. So Debbie, let's kick it off.
Welcome everybody from all over the world. Thank you for joining us. So I'm pretty excited about this presentation today because LinkedIn has had over 90, that's 90, new options and introductions of things since January 1st. Before you fall off your chair, not all 90 things are important. So we try to filter through and keep everybody updated in our network on changes that we think are of value or importance to you. I, for one, am not a deep techie who wants to get into algorithm data and equations and all of that, so I kind of pass on those things. But that's what we're doing today. We're going to give you some tips that cover an array of services. And we're joined today by Lizzie Rengel, and I hope I didn't ruin that pronunciation. She is from the WAG Workplace Accessibility Group, and she's here to help us reach a bigger audience with American Sign Language. So welcome and thank you, Lizzie. Okay, so Dayve is going to cover a couple of our standard practices and suggestions for all members.
Great. So we know we have a lot of folks that follow our webinars and join us every time, but we have some new names on the list. And so we always like to set the stage with respect to our philosophy at DWCS. And basically, we use old school networking with cutting edge technology. It's business relationship building is what we teach, and our philosophy is the basic good old sales philosophy. You do business with people that you know, like, and trust. The first and most important thing when you're approaching your LinkedIn strategy as a professional is to make sure that you have a complete and optimized profile. You never get that second chance to make a first impression. And you want your profile to look as professional as possible when people land on it, but you also want it to be optimized so that you can be found by those who are seeking for you, your skills or services. You want to also build your network because this expands the breadth of the number of individuals that can find you with those keywords. And so it's important that you continue to build your network, and we teach you how to do those strategies, which invitations to accept, which ones to ignore, which ones to report, and then who to extend invitations to as well. Finally, as you're building those relationships, no one wants to be sold to. We all know we're here to do business. This is a business platform. We get it, but no one wants to be sold. Don't pitch out of the gate. Don't cold pitch. It's not successful. I don't know who told you it is, but I guarantee you it's not. Our philosophy is to build relationships. And then when you're engaging with content or creating your own, do it in a way that adds value, that demonstrates your expertise and sets you above and apart from your competition. All right. So what should you know about LinkedIn? There's lots of things changing and lots of great things going on with LinkedIn. So this year in May, LinkedIn will celebrate its 21 years. LinkedIn is finally legal, Debbie. we can all share a cocktail with LinkedIn in May. And it continues to add more than 5 new members per second around the world. So every second, 5 new leads could be coming into your LinkedIn network. Next, over 1 billion members in 200 countries. So they just eclipsed the 1 billion mark a couple months ago and growing feverishly all across the world. And as such, they're making a lot of changes to the site. And then AI is being offered. You will start to see AI and generated text and response suggestions gradually being offered. Premium users will see more AI generated opportunities than basic members. AI is the reality now. We recognize, but it's got to still sound like you. And so you can use it for your first draft, but don't use it for your final draft. Add your own authentic content. ID verification. You will notice on LinkedIn profiles that you will see the little blue shield or check mark next to their name. That means that they are verified. It's important that you do this. With the number of bots and just nefarious actors on the internet, it's important that your profile is really you, and that those folks who are connecting with you or inviting you to connect know it's really you. It's super easy to do. All you have to do is go into your profile and go to the more about this profile verification setting. Have your mobile phone ready, because you will have to submit some documentation, copy of your driver's license, and then they will respond. It is important that your name on your profile matches your driver's license. So, okay, and be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, because we do identify the top tips and the top updates in our monthly newsletter, and so that's a great way to stay on top of the changes that are coming down fast and furious between our webinars. Debbie, so let's talk about some focus for people that are on the free basic profile.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our April newsletter just came out Monday. So we edged it into the month of April, and in it, we explain why you might have missed the last 2 issues. So check that out if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the basic free membership members for a while here, because they have a couple of new regulations in place about building and connecting with your network. So you are allowed 5 invitations to connect per month with a note added to them. This is a huge change. We are not in favor of it, but LinkedIn is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're pretty much not going to care what I think. So you have to adapt, and you have to adjust your strategies. So we've got some helpful things to get you in front of your desired prospect without, worrying about personalizing that invitation to connect. Use those 5 that are allowed monthly, but use them very pointedly with people that are super important. And we've got some other strategies for what to say to those people. You can get some free downloads off our website. So start with people that you know. And the phone contacts, a lot of those people that you've got in that list are so familiar with you, you don't have to include a note to explain who or why you want to connect. And this is going to become more common for people to not just brush off a wordless invitation, but they're going to take a second look and make sure that they're connecting with somebody that's trustworthy and that they know, and so forth. So we always say start with your phone contacts. If you are in any professional membership organizations, you're going to have access to those membership lists. That's another great place to start, really depending on how much networking you do with those organizations that you've spent money on to belong to. So get out there and network if you haven't done that for a while. I know I belong to 2 Chamber of Commerce's right now, and I know it's not easy to get out there and network sometimes when you have a crazy work schedule to begin with. But I can tell you without exception, every time you see that I've attended a network, I have gained new connections on LinkedIn every single time. And you never know who people are connected to, especially for those in transition. Keep your face out there locally and network. List of coworkers, anything to do with sports and academics. You've got probably a lot more people on LinkedIn that you know than you can even begin to imagine. So that's one way to just shoot out an invitation from their network. Sorry, that's one way to shoot out an invitation with no words from their profile. Just hit connect and out it goes, and they're going to accept because they already know you. Okay, another strategy that's turning into a pretty good one. If you have people in mind that you're after as a prospect, look them up on LinkedIn, scroll a couple of inches down to their activity and see what they're doing. Hit on their posts, see what they're posting, or hit on the comments. They've got everything segmented now. Posts, comments, reactions, newsletters, and you can pick and quickly determine what activity they're doing and how you can add to it. So the first thing you want to do is hit the react, which is lower left corner of this slide. by the way, you're all going to get a copy of these slides. Anybody that's on our registration list all the time for these webinars, you get the replay and the materials. So you want to rest your cursor on like and choose a reaction. And there's 6 different reactions now. That takes a millisecond. But if you really want to get traction from somebody and attract their attention, comment on their post and add value to it with a sentence. The key word there is sentence. Your comment needs to be more than 4 words to catch the attention of the algorithm and make a difference for both the person that originated the post and for you and who's going to see your comment. So think about your comment, make a sentence. It takes a couple of minutes to do that. That's it. And there's your activity. So we highly recommend that you scroll through that homepage feed and pick maybe 2 or 3 posts that kind of jump off the page and engage with that person, especially if it's a desired prospect that you're not connected to yet. Catch their attention by reacting, they'll get notified, and commenting so that they can potentially comment back. You need to watch for that back and forth engagement. That's what makes the world go round. And LinkedIn loves that kind of activity on a post, and it helps make it go out further, and it'll help go out further to your own network, showing your people, what you think is of value for them to stop and take a look at. Okay. LinkedIn groups, we're all convinced now, we meaning people that do what we do around the world. We're kind of a tight bunch, especially if we're all like-minded, they're connected, we're all connected. And we stay in touch with each other, and we all agree of late that LinkedIn is paying a lot more attention to groups again, which is a good thing. You can join a group that your target belongs to. And all you need to do is go to the very bottom of their profile. And down at the bottom, you're going to see interests. Click on interests, click on groups, and have at it. Find a couple of groups, even just one, that you can join. And once you're a member, you can actually direct message that prospect without being connected to them. That is an old tip from probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago. Our business is going to be 13 years old next month, God forbid. And it's been great fun, but it's really interesting how some of these original tips, because honestly, a lot of people got away from groups for a while. There was a lot of junk in the feeds, and they're really starting to clean up. So there's another way to get in front of a desired prospect. What else? I think we can move on to the next screen.
Okay.
Okay. And invitations from strangers, we all get them. We all get spammed, and that's kind of become almost an anticipated thing. Uh, Part of that, cutting down on that, is that ID verification. Please, please, please take a minute and do that. It is something I look for all the time now. If I get an invitation from somebody I don't know, definitely go to their profile. We have a hard, fast rule. It doesn't happen too often now, but if they don't have a headshot, or they have a caricature, or they have a logo where the headshot should be, that's kind of an instant ignore for us, unless we happen to know the name. We want to see who we're connecting with. This is a professional network. You're trying to connect with viable professionals who can either lead you to business or become your business. That should be your goal, no matter what your goal is. You want to build your network with viable professionals that you can trust. If there is nothing in common, if you don't have mutual connections, and that's shown to you right at the top of their profile, I always hit that link just to see who the mutual connections are. And the old phrase, birds of a feather flock together, kind of comes into play there. And if I know some of those mutual connections, that's a huge plus. Even if I don't know the person that invited me, I figure, hey, if those close friends or acquaintances are connected to this person, must be an okay person. So look for mutual connections. But if you don't have any synergy and nothing in common, just tap, ignore, and move on. You're going to learn to do this vetting process in less than a minute, and it's totally worthwhile. Don't just ignore an invitation because you don't recognize the headshot or name. Give them a minute of your time. This is how you're going to grow your network with a purpose. Spam invitations, don't we love them? No. Look for the 3 dots in the upper right of that invitation. Every invitation has those 3 little dots, and it's called an ellipsis. And there are choices under the 3 dots. Tap on them, and you're going to get a choice to, among other things, report or block that person. Depending on how much they irritate me, I'm going to go look at their profile, and I'll probably block them first, and then report them, or one or the other. It just depends. I don't spend a lot of time on these people. I'll tell you, an instant block and report is the invitation that starts with, "Hey, Debbie, did you know you can do lead generation on LinkedIn?" And I want to take a minute and write back, yeah, we do, and I can probably teach you how to do this a lot better. But I usually don't want to waste time, because that's what these invitations do. And that's why, like Dayve, emphasized at the beginning of every webinar, don't pitch out of the gate. People still do it. They get all excited. And it is exciting because LinkedIn is a huge professional platform. We strive to keep it professional. Okay, and you want to acknowledge connections. This is not as time consuming as you think, and I'm telling you, this little device has become my favorite way to leave a 1-minute voice message. Bet you didn't know that. I bet some of you knew that. People are catching on, but the 2 illustrations below show you on the mobile app, when you bring up your network and you're ready to write somebody a message, down at the bottom where it says write a message, by the way, don't miss the paperclip to the left of that. You can also attach stuff if you're writing a message, but I want you to look at that teeny tiny little microphone. Why does LinkedIn make this stuff so easy? You've never noticed that was there. Tap on it and you get the next picture to the right, and you can record a 1-minute message. And I think it's great because, first of all, you can't get too wordy. It's 1 minute, and you can say a lot in 60 seconds. So you want to start by saying, "Hi, so-and-so," first name. "Thanks so much for connecting with me." Use the rest of that time to your advantage. Take something off their profile. Maybe they just attended an event or a conference. Find something on their profile that you can mention right into good graces with the person who might be a stranger, but now you're connected and you're trying to engage. I love the voice message feature. So that's what I have to say. And Davey's going to tell you a little bit more about what you can do on your profile to attract attention.
Yeah, so one of our most favorite parts of the profile is the featured section. And you can use the featured section to emphasize content that you want people to see right at the top of your profile, right off the bat, before looking at your activity. Think of this as your highlights reel. If you're of a certain generation, you may remember when you actually showed up with proof of your work or portfolio of sorts for job interviews. Remember job interviews? So the featured reel does this. And so if you had any media in your about section when this feature was launched, they moved it to the featured section. So you may see something there and don't remember ever adding it, or there may not be a featured section there at all and you can add it. So when you're looking at your own profile, you want to go to the add profile section and then add featured. And it'll show up there. You can add anything to that, posts, newsletters, articles, a link to media, a specific part of your profile section. You can link to media outside of LinkedIn, also white papers, awards. People love images and videos. And so when we are on the road, we're promoting our participation in conferences. I'll always swap out my number 1 featured photo for what's the most exciting thing going on. When we do webinars, we'll throw our webinar images up there. And exciting things that are happening in your life. We will be talking next webinar in July about how you can be more authentic in your content and your engagement on LinkedIn. We have a lot of folks that just say, I don't know what to say. The featured section is a great way to have a topic at hand to discuss. And it's also a great icebreaker when you're connecting and building that relationship, is to look at people's featured content and interact with that. I'm telling you, this is the most important thing to me. So why would you go and interact with some of my content or copy of it? You know what I mean? This is a great way to edify, build the other person up. Oh, I saw your video. Oh, I saw that you were in California. Oh, I saw that you were in Orlando. I've said to the world, this content is important to me and I think it's special. So it's a clue to you as you're interacting and building that relationship. Address what they think is the most special about their profile. It's easy enough to edit, to add content or remove content. It's a slider. So there's lots of featured content you can add and keep it fresh. Just like most things on LinkedIn's profile, you'll see the plus sign to add content. The edit sign is the pencil anytime to make changes. And so we love this featured section. Like I said, you never get a second chance to make that first impression. And this is the way that you can have your highlights reel for all intents and purposes, or that portfolio that we would have all carried into to a hiring manager to show them the best of our work. This is where you can show the best of your work. Awards, for sure. If you have any awards, you know, the best and brightest moments of your professional career, put those there. And then anything new and exciting, images and videos, images and videos, images and videos are really, really powerful. Okay, we're going to move on to some job seeking information. And this is for premium members. So if you're job seeking and you are not on the premium mode, you may want to upgrade for free for 30 days. Take advantage of these functions especially when you're in job seeking mode. On job detail pages, and it will tell you how you can stand out and how to best position yourself. In the feed, you're going to see AI-powered takeaways on posts, and it's going to go deeper into topics that are interesting to you. There's also a profile writing assistant and message drafts. You may notice as you're going in to your messages, and this is a weird function that we've discovered in the wild with our cohort, and we haven't nailed down exactly how it's working. But you may go in to type a message to someone, and you may see pre-populated text, AI-generated text pop up. Don't freak out. We're all seeing it. It's basically going in and looking at the relationship and giving you a first draft of how you could start engaging in a conversation with them. And then to try those features for job seekers, you'll see the little sparkly, the gold star icon start to pop up on posts in your feed, job detail pages, things like that. So you'll see as you're looking at the about section or a company page, we call them pages, the company page in LinkedIn. If they're hiring, you'll see their jobs and you'll see the magic AI sparkles telling you more information about that job. Now, if you're a basic user, there is still going to be a jobs tab. There's a really cool interview prep function where you can practice a virtual interview. And then you can submit written answers, get feedback from AI, completely private. So it's like a practice session for interviews. This is very important, especially if you're like me and you haven't interviewed for a job in a long, long time. I've been blessed in my career. I have gotten every job I've had out of college from someone that I know. Now I proved my worth and I excelled in the position. So I had the skills to back up, but it's been through personal relationships and connections that I have found all of my career opportunities. Another reason why building those relationships and making good impressions is important. But if I had to interview for a job, oh goodness, I'd need to practice because I haven't done it in a long time. So I love this feature for the basic members. And then this is my other feature that I really dig. On company pages, if the company is paying for a certain level of LinkedIn for their pages, you'll see on their about section if they're hiring, and there is a option for you to tap that you're interested. This will let HR managers at that company know that you're a match, and it helps them find you before you even apply. This is pre-application for the job, the way to get on the radar screen. I would expect through AR's algorithms as well, it's probably going to push a little more content out to you. I can't promise that. It may even put you in those hiring managers a little more. Can't prove that either. But we know that the gremlins in the background at LinkedIn are coming up with all kinds of great ways to tie the content and the engagement together to serve you what's most and best important. So take a look at that. And even if you're not interviewing, even if you're not looking for a job right now, actively looking, you may want to, like if you have a dream job at the dream company, why wouldn't you just go in there and click, hey, I'm interested in this company, and get on the hiring manager's radar screen? You never know what's going to come out of those efforts. Alrighty. Let's talk about our resources. Dave.
There's always something going on, either with LinkedIn or with us. Of course, we want you to subscribe to our newsletter. And I have to tell you, Constant Contact is always pushing us, because that's about the only thing we do with Constant Contact. And we have a pretty big database, so you can expect to get a newsletter when they're published, which is usually we shoot for the first week of the month. In the current issue, you'll find out why there was no newsletter for February and March. But subscribe to that, and we promise we'll be more timely. Connect with us, of course, on LinkedIn. And you want to check publications at the bottom of my profile. I try to keep 6 past issues of our DWCS newsletter. There's a ton of tips in there. You could spend a couple of hours picking up on, learning. Every issue has LinkedIn tips. And there's a lot in there. So 6 issues, there's a lot to learn. It doesn't hurt to review those things once in a while, but you can find them there anytime under publications. We do have a DWCS LinkedIn page for more tips. We're going to get into video a little bit more strongly very shortly, and watch there for some new things coming up. And definitely visit our website if you haven't done that lately. We have a couple of free downloads there. And again, we give away a vast amount of information because you cannot learn enough about this platform. I'm sure it's a safe statement to say that I don't even know everything about this platform. It's very, very multi-layered. So you start with the basics and you add to your knowledge and you open your mind to the fact that they are going to make pretty consistent changes, and you just have to be willing to go with the flow. By the way, when they roll out a change, like some of the ones we've mentioned here, you might not be seeing them yet. They've shortened the time. It used to be 5 to 6 months before everybody got the rollout. Now it's been shortened up to about 30 to 60 days, which is good. And they do it in a very strategic way. If they have something new, they're going to introduce it to a certain segment of their 1 billion population, and they're going to wait for the feedback. And they're going to gauge the popularity of that change. If it's on the plus side and they're getting some good feedback, they roll it out to a bigger portion of the 1 billion members. And again, they wait for feedback. So this is the strategy so that they are trying to roll out things that they know most of the members are going to enjoy and take advantage of and feel that they're really valuable. On the other hand, and this happens to me once in a while, I get excited about a new option. I'm using it for a couple of months and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. And I just saw something flash on the screen from the chat. And I think it was about hashtags for premium members. Yep, they've done away with them. So if you still have yours, I'll be surprised if you're a premium member with hashtags at the top of your profile. Again, there are, let's see, where can I put this? Dayve, I think I can put a couple of links in the email that goes out to everybody that registered. And we will, let me make a note so I don't forget. I will send you the
Yeah.
2 links that LinkedIn has provided for feedback from anybody, anytime. One of them is to tell LinkedIn what you think about a new option you're getting or you're seeing. And another link is to give your suggestion to LinkedIn of maybe an improvement or a new option. You have to remember they are not going to respond to you. But you have to believe that these are 2 purposely set up centers in LinkedIn that are constantly monitored. They will get your you not expect.
No.
But it's nice to know that you have 2 ways to submit your opinion or your complaint or your praise. So we'll make sure you have those 2 links in the email that accompanies the replay and these slides.
Fantastic.
Definitely register for our webinars. And oh, okay, this one's talking about today's. Okay, the next one, July, and honestly, Davey, I don't remember what the date is in July, but we will make sure that.
July 31st. July
Thank
31st.
you. All right, awesome. So save the date, July 31st. And like we've said, if you register, and definitely take advantage of a complimentary profile review. There is no obligation. We do these all the time. Davey and I will set aside whatever time you desire. The links that are coming to you on the next screen, Davey, are how you can set up that 15-minute review. We do try to keep them at 15 minutes, and you have to have your profile in front of you. So don't pick a time when you're going to be driving. And thank you again for joining us today. We hope you learned a few new things and that you'll so and Lizzie, awesome help today. And we hope you all have a good week.
Thanks, everybody.